What's up guys, I'm BTC. Yesterday I put out a brand new hero concept video for Mikhail, and today I'm going to be answering all your questions and showing you some behind the scenes stuff. I spent quite a bit of time creating the hero concept Mikhail, which was released yesterday. Unfortunately, Blizzard decided to release a brand new map right after I posted the video, and my hero concept kinda got drowned out. So if you haven't seen that hero concept video yet, stop this video, go and watch the hero concept, and then come back. You'll find the link for that video in the description and on screen, so you can just click it and go and check it out. I also want to give a quick shout out to the artist X-SEIDE-T, who's been helping me with these hero concepts. He does amazing work. His link is also in the description, so you can go and check out some of the other content he makes. And finally, one of the images I showed yesterday had a mistake in it. I had his attack rate as 0.8, which is incredibly slow. It would have given him only 30 damage per second, which is way below any other character in the game. It's supposed to be 0.08, which is on par with other characters like Tracer, Sombra, Soldier, and McCree. Let's get to questions. First one, why did you choose 3-round burst for him and not 4-round like Lucio? Because in the real world, most weapons that have a burst function are going to do 3 instead of 4. Should there be any fall-off damage for his burst ability? Yes, it's a hit scan, and every hit scan in the game has fall-off damage. This is a two-parter. What do you think about him having an alt fire? I didn't want to give him another ability for alt because he already has a lot of stuff going on. And the second thing is, why didn't I give him an ADS, aim down the sight mechanic? It's because he's supposed to be close to medium range. I don't want to make him strong at close range and also give him something for really far away as well. Generally, characters are going to be good at one or the other. How long are the animations for the abilities? Are some of them instant? The Phase Dash is a piercing projectile, travels a little bit faster than a Fire Strike, and when you teleport to it, it's not quite instant. There's like maybe a half a second or a quarter of a second delay between when you activate it. Other things like the Unstable Energy are going to be mostly instant, and the Displacement is mostly instant as well. Can you swap the copy before it hits the wall and stops? Yes. As soon as you throw out the Phase Dash, you can swap to that copy anytime you want. You don't need to wait. Since Phase Dash is like Bob, when the clone runs forward, I take the clone wouldn't allow you to cross gaps. No, it would not. It would just kind of drop right down. So here's the thing. I originally thought that maybe I could have you throw the phase copy in any direction you wanted, but I figured that would be way too strong and give him way too much mobility. Imagine throwing the phase copy up towards a building way above the enemy head, and then you could swap to it when it was kind of hovering up there. Now, it would be cool, but I think it would be way too strong, so no. I wanted to give him a good amount of horizontal mobility, but not vertical mobility. Can you kill his Phase Dash clone, and does the clone go away when you kill the original? So when Mikhail dies, all of the phase copies go away, but you cannot damage the phase copy, not on his Phase Dash or not on the duplicate. They are intangible from being hit. They can't be hit, they can't be booped, they can't be stunned, none of that. Treat them as if they're just an energy projection that's there. So once the phase copy goes through the enemies and it hits the wall and it stops and turns around, it can't do anything. It's just waiting for Mikhail to swap to it, and that's it. And for the ultimate, it occupies the same space as you, so any damage that you would take would go into the character, would go into Mikhail, and not the duplicate. What is the effect Cleanse? It removes any debuffs on your character. The reason why I added this to Mikhail's Phase Dash is, one, for consistency with other stuff in the game. Sombra's Translocator, Tracer's Recall, they all remove debuffs. They're all a cleanse effect. On top of that, the idea that Mikhail is kind of swapping positions, so any debuffs that he would have on him would go away and the phase copy would take them in his place. That's kind of the deal. Can you go through Ryan's charge with the Phase Dash? Yes, because the Phase Dash is essentially an energy projectile. So it kind of looks like Mikhail, but it would be kind of glowy and maybe blue, and it would just be energy, and it would go right through Reinhardt. There's nothing for him to actually charge into. Can Phase Dash go through walls? No, it cannot. The phase copy would stop as soon as it hits a wall. Does Phase Dash go through shields? Yes, it's a piercing projectile type effect. It would go right through them. Will the Phase Dash be able to go through teleporters? No, because it counts as a projectile, not as an actual character. For that very same reason, it's not able to move a payload or contest a capture point. Moving to the next ability, why didn't Unstable Energy have a knockback effect? And don't you feel the AoE ability is too normal? So Phase Dash is a very powerful ability. It does damage, it allows him to quickly relocate, which can be used as an escape mechanism, or he can use it to flank the enemy or to pursue. There's lots of functionality with that ability. It's very strong. And in order to balance that out properly, I need to make the other ability a little bit kind of on the bland side, where it can't have all these extra effects. Now, the reason why it doesn't have a knockback is because it actually wouldn't synergize with the way the character works. Because the best way to use the ultimate is to Phase Dash in, then swap, then you're going to very quickly Unstable Energy, ultimate, Unstable Energy again, and then you can follow up with whatever damage. So you want to do those things in a very quick succession in order to maximize your damage. And if it had a knockback effect, it would push everybody out of the way, so then when you try to use the second one, it wouldn't follow up. So the thing is, Phase Dash is strong. It's a little bit above average in terms of how much stuff it can do for an ability. So in order to balance that, the other one needs to be a little bit on the lower side. Plus, they synergize really well. Can you use Unstable Energy during your ult? Yes, as I explained with that combo, you definitely want to use it. Does it have more range or damage? It doesn't have any extra range, and it by itself doesn't do extra damage, but the duplicate will do its own version, which does 60% of whatever Mikhail is doing. So yes, it does extra damage because the duplicate is also doing one. There was a lot of questions about displacement. Can it avoid this? Can it avoid that? Here's how it works. It's a passive with a 10-second cooldown. While it's active, the next damaging thing that would hit Mikhail is completely avoided. Doesn't matter if it's 1 damage or 1,000 damage, it is completely avoided. Kinda like D.Va's defense matrix, how the attack just ceases to exist. Think of it like that. So, this means that large damaging stuff like a D.Va ult or a Pharah rocket, displacement is going to be extremely effective against those types of things. But when you have stuff like a Zarya beam or a Tracer's attack or anything that is very rapid fire, it's only going to prevent the very first hit and that's it. So for example, if Winston is trying to hit Mikhail, the very first tick of the damage is avoided, but everything after that is still going to hit him. I purposefully designed it that way to be strong against those big attacks and weak against the quick attacks. In the unlikely event this character ever got added to the game, I did think of a particularly funny situation though, where D.Va launches her ultimate towards the capture point, Mikhail is standing right next to it, thinking that displacement is going to keep him safe, and then Mini D.Va hits him one time to activate displacement, so that when the D.Va ult goes off, it completely destroys him. I think that would be kind of funny. How would displacement work with shotguns, Genjis, multi-attack, all that sort of stuff? I think this would require testing. Because the pellets hit at the same time, and it's from a single attack, I'm not sure if it would completely avoid all of it, or if it would just avoid one pellet. I think that would require testing, but from the start, I would say probably avoid the entire thing, but again, it would require some testing. What would the interactions be with crowd control abilities like McCree's Flashbang, Ryan's Charge? Would it dodge the ability, or would he still be stunned or pinned and avoid the damage? If the ability does any damage at all, even 1 point, then Mikhail will completely avoid it altogether. He'll avoid the damage and whatever effect goes along with it. However, if it doesn't have any damage, then he can't displace it. For example, Pharah's Concussive Blast does not have any damage to it, which means she could use it to boop Mikhail off an edge or something like that, and he wouldn't be able to displace it because there's no damage to displace. This definitely does not mean he's immune to crowd control effects, far from it. He can still be hit by all of that stuff. It just means you have to be a little bit smarter about it. You have to intentionally activate the displacement on some other attack, and then you follow up with the crowd control. With McCree, for example, you would hit him once, then stun, then fan the hammer. It adds an interesting level of counterplay that I think the game really needs more of. When he avoids an attack, will it continue past him or just be deleted? It would be like D.Va's defense matrix, as I mentioned, it would just cease to exist. While Mikhail is displacing, can he still deal damage? Yes, it's something that just kind of happens in the background. When displacement is used, is there going to be an animation dodging the bullets, or are they going to go just through you? So there's going to be an animation. As I said, they don't go through you, they cease to exist. But imagine that there's going to be a bunch of energy phased versions of Mikhail, kind of doing something like out of the Matrix. That's kind of what would happen. So it would be very, very obvious to anybody on the enemy team that, hey, his displacement just got used, so now is the time to attack him. Moving on to questions about the ultimate, does the phase dash work the exact same way when you use duplicate? Yes, your duplicate will throw out a phase copy just like you do. They both do damage, except the phase copy from the duplicate does less damage. It only does 60%, and when you swap to your phase copy, the duplicate swaps as well. So everything is all in sync with each other. How would the duplicate look on Mikhail's screen? Are you going to be able to tell when it's over? Yes, there's going to be a very noticeable effect surrounding the duplicate. So Mikhail is going to have a phased energy version that's probably going to be glowing, and it's going to be inside him, but it's going to be kind of swaying back and forth and moving around a little bit. So it's going to be very obvious to you and to everyone else that the duplicate ultimate is going on. And from your personal perspective, you'll probably see like 2 versions of your hands and 2 versions of your weapons, and they're going to be kind of moving a little bit. So you'll notice that there's definitely something going on there, and when it stops, you'll know that it just kind of went away as well. So yes, everyone will know that it's going on. I guess kind of liken it to a nano boost, but maybe not as bright as that. When duplicate is active, does Mikhail receive double the damage taken from enemies? No. He receives normal damage, he can avoid it using displacement, but the phase copies cannot be acted upon. They can't be hurt, they can't be CC'd, they can't be moved around or anything. Basically, if you want to get rid of the duplicate, then you have to take out Mikhail. During Mikhail's ultimate, does the duplicate attack instantly when you use the attack, or is it more like the Marvel vs. Capcom duplicate where there's a slight delay? No, it attacks at the exact same time that you do. Any sort of kind of wavering or swaying back and forth or whatever, that's purely going to be a visual effect. The phase copy is in the exact spot where you are, and it attacks and uses abilities at the exact same moment that you do. Will Orisa's Supercharger buff both Mikhail and his duplicate? No, only Mikhail, and then whatever 60% of that total damage is what the phase copy, the duplicate, will be doing. The phase copy cannot be debuffed or buffed in any way. Does Sombra's EMP cancel Mikhail's ultimate? Does the clone disappear? No, it's a transformation ultimate. It's just like Genji or Soldier or Bastion. It's a new form, and it can't be changed by hack or EMP. Now, it will stop him from using his abilities, but it won't make the phase copy go away. If he was put into the game, who would be his counters and who would he counter? Things that would be strong against Mikhail is any character with a beam weapon, so that's Zarya, Symmetra, Moira, and also Winston to a degree as well. And then also characters that have very fast attacks. So you're looking at Tracer, Sombra, not just for the attack, but also for the hack would be very strong. Also D.Va and Hammond. For characters that he's strong against, it's anyone that has these big attacks that have a slow attack rate. I think probably one of the best would be a Widowmaker, because a fully charged headshot on Mikhail that gets displaced would be absolutely delicious for a Mikhail player. Also things from Hanzo, McCree, Junkrat, Pharah, any character that has those big attacks. Why did you name him Test Subject 7461? Does it mean anything, or was it just randomly chosen? A little of this, a little of that. So the number was kind of randomly chosen, but the idea of the test subject, originally when I was making the character, I was thinking more he was going to be just that. He was going to be just a full-on test subject. He didn't have a name. The whole process made him kind of go crazy a little bit and all that sort of stuff, but as I was developing the character, I kind of moved away from that, and I didn't really want that to be the thing. So I did leave it into the story, but that was the original name for the character. I was simply going to call him Test Subject 7461, or maybe even just 7461. But like I said, I changed my mind, and I went with a different story and a different theme. So that is going to be all of the questions. Thank you to everybody who submitted one. Again, please make sure to share that initial hero concept video because it did kind of get drowned out by all the new map craze that happened yesterday. But I do appreciate everybody that watched it and liked it and shared it so far and submitted questions. Now, as far as new hero concepts, I have about 6 more characters that are already fully developed. Now, I still need to make the videos and the artwork and all that stuff for it, but the characters are there, and I can't wait to show them to you. So those will be coming out soon. Now, I had a lot of people asking, when am I going to take suggestions from other people? For my own hero concepts, I don't want to take suggestions from anyone. I just want to make them 100% on my own as far as the design and stuff goes. But I am going to eventually have more creations from other people. So you'll be able to send me what you've made, what you've designed, and all that sort of stuff, and I'll put them in a little compilation video showing off a bunch of different designs that you guys have made. I'm not doing that just yet, though, so don't send me anything yet. When I'm ready to make those compilation videos, I'll let you guys know, but for right now, I just want to make my own hero concepts and kind of build up that portfolio a little bit. And once more, quick thanks to the artist X-SEIDE-T who did an amazing job. And again, his link is down below in the description, so you can go and check out more of his stuff. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Also, come hang out in my Discord server and my Twitch live stream. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see what kind of cool VIP rewards you can get, check the links down below. And remember, always blame the controller because it's never your fault.